Very important exercise for every Gambian to come forward and register. If you are registered, you can be part of the process to select or elect your representatives at every level: President, National Assembly, councillors, chairmen, mayors. At every level, you will be part of the process to elect your representative. So it's key and it's important for every Gambian to come out in their large numbers to register. And the registration period is about 44 days. So I think we have adequate time to register every Gambian.
While encouraging IEC officials to accommodate all Gambians with valid documents, the president also called for the maintenance of peace throughout the electoral process. In a message to political parties in the country, the president urged party agents to conduct themselves in accordance with IEC election rules and guidelines, whilst observing the voter registration process, saying the politics of intimidation has no place in today's Gambia.
And we advise also political parties or agents. There is a code of conduct that we expect from every political party. Nobody should intimidate anybody. We are all Gambians. We are all equal in this country. That's why everybody, you register once only and you vote once only.
Speaking to QTV's Jennifer Sonko, Alaji Ali Mowanjai, chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, says except for a few technical challenges, the registration process has been going smoothly so far.
You know, these machines, they have been overused because normally you should register about 120 maximum, but they go up to 200. So it hits up, and auxiliary generators also have some connection with that. But they've now been addressed, and as far as we know, the technical supervisor will be going around the whole country correcting those few ones. And of course, we also have spare machines to make sure that it continues non-stop.
On the much talked about Alcalo attestations, the IEC chairman says they are authentic documents that can be used to secure a voter's card in the absence of other required documents such as a birth certificate, passport or national identity card. And he went on to reveal that the IEC now issues attestation forms that will serve as a guide for Alcalos and chiefs to fill, sign and stamp. This is done to ensure transparency as opposed to previous elections where Alcalos would personally write attestations, he said. At least 1 million Gambians are eligible to register for the forthcoming presidential elections, slated for December 4th this year. And given the low voter turnout amongst young people in previous elections, both President Barrow and the IEC chairman urge young people to register and participate in the December elections, as it is an important exercise that will have a huge impact on their lives. Ansmane Sonyase for QTV News. As the Gambia prepares for the 2021-2023 electoral cycle, the Office of the Judiciary is organizing a 2-day capacity building training for magistrates in preparation for election disputes. Babakar C reports.
Magistrates from across the country will gather for 2 days to be trained and discuss, among other things, the role of the judiciary in electoral dispute resolutions. The event coincides with the voter registration by the Independent Electoral Commission. At the event, Madam Aissatou Jallow C, the Judicial Secretary, gave a briefing on how the justice system is gearing up for the electoral cycle and the election dispute-related matters.
In the course of the training, there will be discussions on the rules of practice, procedure, and jurisdiction of the revising courts. As we all know, the revising courts, according to the Elections Act, are special courts established by the Honorable Chief Justice on the advice of the Independent Electoral Commission upon the completion of the voter registration to deal with all challenges and objections to the voter registration. It is a much needed initiative to have those that would be designated to sit as magistrate in the revising courts, perhaps for the first time, to be trained on the rules and procedures, jurisdiction, and other modalities that ensure the effective functioning of the revising courts.
Madam Jallow C also highlighted the importance of magistrates, saying the training will refresh their minds on key values and work of the judiciary.
The revising courts are established mostly to ensure that the procedures employed for the voter registration are in accordance with the law, and to ensure that the rights of Gambians to participate in the electoral process are fully protected.
The Chief Justice of the Gambia, Hassan B. Jallow, said the forum is the first step initiated by the judiciary in preparing the revising courts and all courts to deal with cases emanating from the elections effectively and quickly.
Each revising court will be presided over by a first-class magistrate, and each such court is required to render its decisions within 60 days of the notice of an appeal or objection to any entry in the register. Appeals against the decision of the revising court lie in the High Court of the Gambia in accordance with the Elections Act of 1996, as amended variously since then. It is necessary that the conditions laid down by the law for the compilation of such a register are strictly observed in order to properly identify those citizens who can legitimately participate in the process of elections.
The Chief Justice further stated that disputes and challenges are not uncommon in the process of registration, and the judiciary serving as an arbiter will function in accordance with the laws of the land.
All such disputes should, however, be resolved peacefully and in accordance with the law and with due process. The judiciary has an important role in this respect, but the justice system is a key actor in the protection of election integrity. Judicial officers may be involved in the resolution of such disputes. When they do, or when they are involved, they should remain independent, exercise their functions impartially, and discharge their duties efficiently and expeditiously.
The Chief Justice is empowered to establish revising courts in each administrative area of the country to hear and determine any objection to the voters' register and make necessary orders accordingly. Babu Karsi, QTV News.
Now, all Artisanal Fisheries Cooperative Association have raised concern at a press conference over the Ministry of Fisheries' decision to put a temporary halt to night fishing with effect from next month to November. The association claims the ministry's plan has the potential to encourage overfishing in the Gambia. Muhammad Lamin Choi tells us more.
A plan from the Ministry of Fisheries for a temporary halt to night fishing in the Gambia will come into effect on July 1st and end on November 30th. The ministry calls it a conservation measure that will allow the rejuvenation of the Gambia's fish stocks. In reaction, the Artisanal Fisheries Cooperative Association raised concerns with the Fishery Ministry after receiving a letter on a temporary ban on night fishing.
So we
have seen in the letter from the ministry claiming that their decision is a conservation measure. We believe the ministry is contradicting itself because if it wants to take conservation measures, overfishing should not be encouraged. We see that if Senegal closes 1 month before us, there will be overfishing. Instead of the 5-month-long pause suggested by the ministry starting on the 1st of July, the Artisanal Fisheries Association is asking for a 6-month halt to commence in June for the Gambia to observe this break in night fishing at the same time as Senegal, if conservation is the main reason. The Minister of Fisheries, James Gomez, disagrees with the claim that not simultaneously observing a temporary night close with Senegal creates the ground for overfishing, and says his ministry will also be controlling artisanal fisheries.
You see, what is unfortunate that people don't speak the truth. Senegal don't close all Senegal for 6 months. They close different parts of Senegal. Dakar is never closed because we have a relationship with Senegal. We are all members of the Sub-Regional Fisheries Organization, and we compare notes about what we do.
The Ministry of Fisheries is mandated to regulate and control fishing activities in the Gambia, whose decision this time around is alleged to have been in favor of fisherfolks who are contracted to supply fish to fish meal factories.
Closing the night fish or shifting it anyhow he like is not a problem if he deem is necessary, but he should not do it to favor the non-Gambian fishers. And if he respects the conservative measure, he should know that those people are fishing more than us, and they are catching more juvenile fish than us.
No, it's not true. They came here a couple of weeks ago and talked to my permanent secretary and my director. And the minutes are there. What they are complaining is that this man is earning money. But really, like I said, when I take a decision, as I sit here, I look at the bigger picture.
Another concern and allegation from the Artisanal Fisheries Cooperative Association is that the Fisheries Department is registering some vessels as semi-industrial ones, which allows them to fish within fishing zones that are designated for artisanal fishing.
Battery dañ dé wacca dañ leen jox 7 nautical mile, battery dañ dé wacca be 6.5.
These vessels are given 7 nautical miles to fish, but they fish down to 6 to 5 nautical miles. This is because of the manner they are issued license to operate.
They cannot sit there and say we are registering or licensing boats that are not proper. No. I am sure my staff colleagues will not process any application that does not meet the criteria that is set by law.
The present Gambia government has signed fishing agreements with Senegal and the EU, which critics say is exploitative of our fish stocks, given the Gambia's inadequate capacity to monitor and regulate the sector. To track and monitor the activities of fishing vessels, the ministry is now exploring a technological vessel monitoring system, which sends signals to a team of technicians. A plan to buy a fisheries inspection boat to police fishing activities in the Gambia is in its final stage, according to the Minister of Fisheries. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
Well, quite an interesting report there by Mahmoud Lamin Choi, and I'm afraid it will lead us to our first commercial break, but do stay tuned, we will be right back.
Inco Home Choice Gambia company Gambian la mu ngi established in 2018 foofu ci Kombo ci Serekunda alhamdulillah ci ñetti at ñu ngi am juróom-ñaari place yu mel ni Serekunda Brikama Sukuta Yundum ak fii nii ci Basse moom mooy bu ñaareel bi métier boo munta am ak métier boo munta liggéey ngay carpenter welderman baykat mécanicien ak loo munta def bagage boo soxla inshallah boo ñëwee Inco di nga ko am.
Inco alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin nga na Basse o mu kayra balte no mfelembe Basse Mansa Jang highway kabirin nata jang Basse ngol fo kontano ani ñatota because mo be konda bagage sol be molbulu bagage kendo lemo de quality e fangol yalo ne mbuka bagage wafi mi yaron ko mana bagage sol lemo you know so alhamdulillah wakata Basse ngol fon we sewotale because na 1 week soto jan ngaje e kananka nyami ka nga bagage sol jibe e ka kontana kola dol sa fanyi bagage sifal ngol je tubabu dole nena mo je jan
wa mbekté buma am moy Inco all the way joggé dañ from Kombo ñew be Basse parce que nit ñi wa Basse dañ daan yaga di joy Inco dafa sori fo nga joggé fi dem be Kombo so ñew nañ fu mu nekk ni ba ci seen buntay so lepp lo xamné dañ ko ron out Kombo rek ñom mën nañ ko am fi ni lool mbokk na ci mbekté mi nga xamné ni am na ko bis na ki tay wa client yi moy dañ leen yombalal pour ñu am Inco rek wa client yi yombalal nañ ko parce que wholesale bi ñoo jaay Kombo ak bi ñoo jaay Inco ñoo jaay wholesale fi dañoo jaay retail so client yi moom nañ ñëw daw si ñëw jënd si wholesale ak ñi nga xam ne dañoo jënd retail waaw price yi am na different tuuti rek bëriwul because of tamit xam nga diggante Kombo ak Basse xal naa sori tuuti price yi daal amul different bu baax tuuti daal am na different tuuti rek.
Well, thanks for staying with us. Now, the YMCA, the Gambia, on Wednesday organized an interfaith dialogue between religious leaders and youths to address issues that threaten the peace and security of the Gambia and how young people can promote peaceful coexistence. Ajibintu Drame reports.
Should play his or her part in ensuring a peaceful Gambia. The recent crime wave and the upcoming election are clear manifestations to safeguard security and peaceful coexistence. YMCA The Gambia engaged stakeholders under the slogan Work for Peace and theme We Are One. At the event, John Charles Njai, the Executive Director YMCA The Gambia, urges youth to unite to avoid chaos, insecurity and disintegration and be ambassadors of peace in the country.
You, the young people of this nation, will be making a big mistake if you allow religious intolerance to divide us. We are bigger than our religions. We are bigger than faith because what unites us is our humanity.
Priscilla H.D. Dunn, the project director of YMCA, says as election approach, youths should be agents of maintaining peace and that more mechanisms should be in place to enforce peace.
Our meeting here is quite timely. Let us, as youth in the Gambia, together, regardless of our religious, party, or tribal affiliations, make a commitment to promote peace and pledge to become instruments of peace.
Reverend Rodney Louis Prom, the General Secretary of the Gambia Christian Council, added his voice to calls for people to maintain peace and tranquility through religion, humanity, tolerance, and respect.
We all know that we have issues of safety, personal security, employment issues, resources, health, and property. If we do not guard our peace, if we do not consider that we are one, and we think in hurting other people, we are saving ourselves, we are making the biggest mistake.
Youths are more than half of the Gambia's population. Some claim that most crimes committed in the country are done by youths. Sehu Sanyang, the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Youth and Sports, urges youth to be responsible, to be champions of peace and amplify their voices to be agents of development and positive change.
Active youth with strong voices. You should be active and you should make sure that wherever you speak, you are heard, so that others will try to emulate your good thinkings to make society a better place to live in.
Waiter Emmanuel, a participant, shares his thoughts on the underlying issues that threaten the peace and security of the nation.
The beautiful thing is that African youths are not lazy. African youths want to work. African youths want to get busy. African youths want to get something doing. But the environment is not encouraging. And in such situation, crime is inevitable. So unemployment is a key issue.
Demba Jallo, a representative of the Supreme Islamic Council, also calls on youth and people to use their religion to maintain tranquility. YMCA has been operating in the Gambia for over 4 decades and aims to empower young people and communities to be proactive and productive in their own development. Ajibintu Drame, QTV News.
Now, access to clean drinking water and a good road can enhance one's quality of life. These fundamental human needs are absent for some communities in the Gambia. A village in Lower River region is one of those currently facing serious water and road problems. Bakari Balde tells us more.
Safe and readily available water is important for public health, whether for domestic or other uses. Equally, there cannot be meaningful development without proper road networks. The community of Sarisajo village in Kian Center has been affected with both these problems for decades. The village is approximately 7 kilometers off the main highway and less than 1 kilometer from the border with Kasmas. Adam Andau, a student, explains how these factors have impacted her education and appeals for help.
I
wake up at 6 a.m. to fetch water from this well. Sometimes I meet a lot of people here, and I had to fetch at least 6 buckets. I also do some household chores before taking a bath to go to school. Because of that, I am sometimes late for class. I can't even study at home when I come back from school because I am tired. Therefore, I am appealing for help from anyone that can help us.
The community bath companion, Yara Jallo, emphasizes the difficulties she encountered when attending to pregnant women in the village. According to her, access to primary health care is always a challenge due to poor road condition. She appeals for government attention to remedy this situation.
The lack of a health facility is a huge challenge for us. Sometimes you can live with a pregnant woman who develops complications at night, but you cannot even have a vehicle to take her to a health facility. The health center is 6 to 7 kilometers away. Sometimes the baby dies inside the womb, or sometimes the pregnant woman will die on the way. We are therefore appealing to the government to help us with a health center to remedy the situation.
Amadou Jallo, the president of the Village Youth Association, outlined some of the challenges the village encounters, describing the scarcity of water as a menace and the road as inaccessible during rainy season. He further stated that the community is at high risk of attracting disease unless there is rapid intervention.
Well, the main challenges or the challenges we have in this community is water. We have scarcity of water in this community.
And also road from here to the main highway, that is Nemakuta to Sare Sadio, is a very big challenge. These wells, all the well of this community is 37 meter deep. Imagining a woman pulling this to have a list of fetch for the entire community, for the entire compound. So it's really a very big challenge.
Musa Jallo, the village alcalo, highlights the unbearable condition the village is currently enduring. He said that water is insufficient for human and animal consumption, and that the poor nature of the road is unacceptable. In this regard, he is seeking for suitable help.
We are seeking for help from the government and other individuals because the lack of clean drinking water and good roads are a big problem for our community, and we are in dire need of help.
This community badly needs water and a good road network to uplift their living conditions and enhance their quality of life. Reporting for QTV News, I am Bakari Balde in Sare Sadio, Lower River Region.
And from that report by Bakari Balde, we will take a look at international news in a moment. Now, delegations of Ghana and Sierra Leone to the ECOWAS Parliament have raised concerns over continued illegal mining in Ghana and the unresolved long-standing border dispute between Sierra Leone and Guinea at the ongoing 2021 First Ordinary Session of the ECOWAS Parliament in Abuja. Alusise report from Abuja.
Presenting a report on the situation in Ghana, Honorable Alexander Kwame Afenyo-Makin, leader of Ghana's delegation, said although Ghana has not been spared the adverse economic effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, the country's economy recorded some growth at the end of 2020. He told parliamentarians the introduction of new taxes particularly resulted in the increment of fuel prices, which took effect in May 2021. Regarding security, the recent surge in terrorist activities in neighboring and other countries in the sub-region places Ghana at risk of terrorist attack. In the past year, the Ministry of National Security stepped up its counter-terrorism efforts to avoid the occurrence of a terrorist attack, particularly at the northern frontier which borders Burkina Faso. Afenyo-Makin further informed the parliament that illegal mining remains a major issue of national security concern for Ghana. In recent times, the surge in illegal mining activities has threatened to destroy the vegetative cover and water bodies in parts of the country. The persistence of the menace, despite efforts by government in the past, is an indication of the gravity of the problem.
The participation of foreigners, particularly Chinese and nationals of some ECOWAS member states, such as Togo, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Burkina Faso, and Mali, have made the fight against illegal mining more daunting. However, at the turn of the new year, government, in collaboration with other key stakeholders, has renewed the fight against illegal mining. This has birthed Operation HALT, which is currently underway in places where river bodies and vegetative cover have been destroyed. The operation promises to be successful. Some of the illegal miners have been arrested and processed before court.
For Siaka Musa Sama, Sierra Leone continue to enjoy peace and political stability. However, the Sierra Leone delegation observes with deep concern the increased instances of incursions by Guinean troops in the Yanga area, which is said is the undisputed sovereign territory of Sierra Leone. The issue remains unresolved, and Sierra Leone's report suggested a diplomatic engagement between the two countries with a view to finding a lasting solution to this long-standing dispute. Sama informed the parliament that more than 400 former Liberian refugees remain without legal status in the country. According to the report, the refugees refused repatriation and integration and demanded resettlement in Sierra Leone. The group had applied for local national identification documents, but authorities are yet to act on the applications. Similarly, the delegation of Cape Verde also presented its report, which highlights the island's country's state of security, human rights and politics, among others. Speaking through a translator, Philomena Vieira Martin maintained that her country remains peaceful and democratic as she shares with colleagues the steps taken to consolidate this.
We have institutions for specific areas of promotion of human rights, and they include the Cape Verdean Institute for Children and Adolescents, and the Cape Verdean Institute for Gender Equality and Equity. The establishment of these three institutions is important value addition to the promotion of human rights in the country. And because of this, we don't normally have any recorded cases of human rights violations.
The reports were adopted after due consideration by members of the parliament. Reporting for QTV News from the ECOWAS Parliament in Abuja, Nigeria, I am Aliou Cissé.
And I'm afraid that's all about it, but do join us at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Until then, bye for now.